Hey guys, it's lovely to have your company back here on my Crafter's Companion YouTube channel, where we're going to delve into something new. And this is something that we've re-engineered. We've gone back to the drawing board and we've made it better. We've made it sturdier. We've made it stronger. We've made it even more versatile. What could that be? That is our brand new stamping platform that is 8x8. It's got its own tack mat. You've got all of the grids. Not only that, you've got some layering stencils that we're also going to be having a look at as well. And with this one here, this is enabling you with any future Crafter's Companion layering stencils to layer them perfectly without the aid of a quarter of an inch 90-degree angle like we had to do previously. It's all to do with this little mechanism here. So before we delve in and we do something very, very simple, showing the stencils, showing the stamping platform. Thank you to those of you that still continue to subscribe on my Crafter's Companion YouTube channel. They give me the thumbs up. They also comment as well and they hit that bell notification. It's really appreciated. Now, that's been all said. So let's delve in and have a look. Now, if I go overhead here, what we have got is we've got our stamping platform. Now, the feet are even stronger. They're not flimsy. They've all just phenomenally manufactured and put together here. Even the stamping platform itself is incredibly strong. And then you've got the base as well, which is strong and sturdy. What we've got this time is we've got a base that is removable, but we've got this, which is a very, very strong tack mat here. Now, we don't need to use magnetic discs anymore, which is great. If you have deeper stamps or that, then we can remove this out and we can still stamp onto the base. But what I'm going to do, first of all, let's cut a piece of cardstock. So I've just got some white smooth cardstock. Let's cut it to, let's do 6.5 by 6.5 for now, and move that out the way, and then I can show you the stencils. So if I move that out the way here, now we've got 3 stencils. We've got the anemone, we've also got the rose, and what we're going to have a little play with is the peony. Now they all come with their own 5 colours. So you've got your purples, you've got your reds, and then you've got your pinks. These are all in colour order here. They're all named as well, and we'll talk you through the names of what one goes first, second, third, fourth, fifth. What we've also got as well on a separate set is the greens, which are going to work for the leaves. Now within each set, they're completely different colours, but you've then got your layering stencils, so 5 stencils for your rose, which is going to create that beautiful detailed depth rose, and then you've also got the 5 there that's going to create the anemone one as well. You've got the same for the actual peony, and within each one you've got a different sentiment. But can I just say, these are sizable sentiments. They're not diddy, they're sizable. The whole purpose is image and sentiment all on one card. Now they do all come packaged in their individual box with their ink pads all included. Now all of these ink pads, these are a quick dry ink pad, so you can still use them in conjunction with your quick dries that you've got. And from first glance, these are all brand new colours. For instance, that's Dartford Pink, Blush, Bubblegum, Mulberry, and then you've got Candy Floss as well. So all brand new colours when it comes to the quick dry. And with the peony, you have got the Just to Say and the Hello. So it's the peony that we're going to have a little play with. Not going to take too long, just to show you the actual stencils. And we've got the stencils. Now they're all numbered as well, which is great. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you've got 5 here as well. So what we can do is we can take our stamping platform, and this is where we're going to take this. Now don't bin or lose this back in, because you're going to put it back on once you're finished. This will over time get a little bit mucky and muddy, but just lukewarm water is then going to clean it nicely. And then it doesn't really matter where you put this little double prong grid bit here. What I'm going to do is, you can put it anywhere. The only reason I'm lifting it up is because I can't put my head over view, otherwise you're not going to see anything. So I would still run them along any chosen grid. Now I'm going to hold the mat in, but that is not going anywhere. That is staying where it is. And then what I'm going to do here is, let's actually move that up a little bit more. So just peel that off. I'm going to go a little bit higher up, and as I say, I'm only lifting. Actually, we could go right up against, there we go. We're going to go right up the edge there if you want to make it even easier. And then let's go in with our cardstock, and then we can go right up against that edge as well. Now you don't need to worry about matching up into corners, because all that you're going to do is you're just going to take these two little circles that are already cut, and we're going to set that over the top there. And then you're going to go in with your first ink. Now when it comes to the first, I'm going to put them in order here. So my first one's going to be blush, then it's going to be candy floss, then it's going to be bubble gum, then it's going to be Dartford pink, then it's going to be mulberry, and then the greens we're going to have sage, olive, and then moss. So what I'm also going to use, and we don't tend to use these when it comes to our quick dry, and that's our finger daubers. I feel our finger daubers are absolutely brilliant for their layering stencils. So I'm going to get my set here. Let's get my set, and then we can go back overview and start to layer them up. So if I take, I did have a cleaner set, a new set I treated myself to, and I don't know what I've done with them. So we'll just have to go with these ones. Just these ones have got pigment on them. I'm not bothered, but I did get myself a new one. Anyway, right, let's just crack on. So what we're doing is we're going to go in with your application of choice. As I say, I'm going to go in with the finger daubers here. And the first one is going to be the blush. So if I go in with the blush, you've got the colours on the actual packaging as well. And let me get a bit of scrap. Take some of, what have I done with my other one? Do you know when something is really, really bugging you? What did I do with it? Is it here? No, not there. Not there. Where are you? Where is it? I'm not going to do Lally. I did open another one, didn't I? I'm sure I did. Maybe I didn't. Sure I did. Maybe I didn't. So we're going to do that. Let's go and let's move them out the way, and let's do this here. As I say, the only reason I'm wanting to do this is because the ones that we usually use the finger daubers for, most people, are going to be the pigment ink pads. So these ones I'll just keep for my layering stencil. So let's delve in here, and then we can then get started. What's also good as well is, even if we moved it along a little bit, the ink pad's not going to move because it's on that tack mat. And then we're just going to start to ink through and dab through. So we're just going to work our way in here, and then we're just adding that colour. So this is going to be the first layer. Now you can absolutely use other colours if you want to. You don't have to be using your... Actually, will I use the blending tool? Let's have a look. Let's go in with the blending tool here. Now these are quick dry, so keep that in mind. Don't get them mixed up with your other ones. Yeah, there we go, that's better. So we're just going to start to add the colour. and being the colour, I'm just going to move this around to aid me. It's habit I'm holding down with my fingers, but we don't have to. The card's not going anywhere. The stencil's not going anywhere. You can use your blending brushes if you want to. But we're going to go in with our blending tool and we're starting to add that colour. If you want to do these with your pigments, you can do. All that I would do is I would follow along the sort of shades that you've got. So I would kind of meet them as close to the shade as possible. The main thing is, as long as you've got the first one, which is light, you've got the second, which is slightly darker, third a bit more darker, fourth is darker, 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 and then before you know it, we are at the darkest. So you can certainly experiment with colours as well, which is going to be good. So start to build and lift all of these up, like so. Oh, it is blush. You know, when I'm just questioning myself there, I thought that's for the Peony, which is blush, that seems a little bit red. But I'm going with it. That's what it says, so we're going with it. So we're just going to keep applying. We're just going to keep going round and round. At first, with the quick dries, you're going to think that they're going to be quite patchy. You just keep going over. We're not necessarily blending. I know it looks like I'm blending them. I'm not necessarily blending them because quick dries aren't blendable. But what I'm just doing is I'm just going in and I'm applying that ink, and while it's still wet, just as it's grabbing, I'm just kind of blending it in a circular motion. And you can go in, at first glance, if you blink and then look, you would think that there's not a stencil there, that's just an outline, but there is. If you want to add additional depth with going round the edges, you can do that. But what we're going to do is we're going to leave there. So we've gone in with the blush. So let's lift that one up. And then we can, and this is the great thing with our brand new stamping platform, lift that up, move that, everything is still in its place. So now we come along with layer 2, lock that in. Now that is in the perfect position as to where it needs to go. So because we're going to go into the next tone up, I'm going to stick with my blending tool or my blending sponge, and I'm going to go in with the candy floss, put that to the side so it doesn't move, and then I'm going to go in. Now what I'm doing here, because I'm using my blending tool, so instead of swiping circular motions where we've got this tiny bit, I'm going in and I'm just pulling away from myself here. So I'm not going to disturb that part of the stencil. So we're just going to keep going. And then we're doing exactly what we've done before. And at first, you don't think that you really are adding any colour, but you are. So we're just going to go in. I'm just moving it around for ease for you all to see at home. And then when it comes to these bits, it's again, I'm just going to be really careful. And then I'm just going to press. You can get some beautiful, beautiful effects by different colours that you're using. You know, maybe you use your yellow tones from maybe your water reactive, or if you use your pigment, and then you can come along with your embossing powders and do your embossing afterwards. So there are so many ways in which you can use them. add these in here, and then I'm going to add a little bit more. So let's just blend this in like so. So once you're happy with that smooth layer that you've got, what we can do is we can then lift that one up. So once we lift that one up, card stays in the same place. I mean, look at that. At first, you think, oh, how's that going to come together? So we're now going to go in with the third one. Now the third one, it's the third step for the flower head, but it's the first step for the leaves. So we're going to come in with the next tone of pink, which is bubblegum. This is when you might want to start to bring in your finger dauber for the tiny bits, because of course you've got minute detail. So we're just going to go in, and then we're just going to press through. So you won't need to press if you're using something like your blending brushes. You can just take, that's that, just making sure I've got the greens ready to go. Now each step, similar to before, you're going to get to a point where you're thinking, got a little bit of stencil. It's not come out in the manufacturing. There we go. Looks as though maybe you're not transferring any colour, but just wait. Wait until you lift it. Be careful as you get to that connection points with the leaves that you don't cross over. If you do, don't worry, don't panic. You could easily overcover with the green, or you can just use a little bit of stencil tape or masking tape to mask off around the edge. Let's start to then finish up this layer. And if you are using something like your duets, although with your duets it will be hard to do your 3 different shades, but with your water reactives it's more doable. Come along and spritz with water, and then you'll be able to get the full bleaching effect if you use it with your water reactives. So that's the third pink. Let's bring in the first of the green, which is sage. I'm just using an old one. I think this has got old, what do you call it, parakeet on it. So just blending through. And I say blending lightly because I'm not necessarily blending as such. I'm just layering up that colour. And then I'm going to go into here. And then we can come down into here. So the excess all the way around the edge will be getting cut off, so I'm not bothered if I go over the outer edge. So that's the first step of the green. I'm going to leave it like that. So move that green out the way. Lift that one up. And then there we go. You can start to see how it's coming together. And then going to go in with our fourth stencil. So this is our fourth step for our petal, but it is our second step for the leaves. So for the next step for the petal is the Dartford pink. So I'm just going to use that same finger dauber because we're going darker. And then we're just going to ink through. We can do a little bit of a blend in because that ink's sitting on the stencil, so we don't want to waste it. We can still use that ink when it's sitting on the stencil. So let's work that in. It's amazing because that very first layer, which was the blush, looked very, very, very red. You look at it and you think, oh my gosh, that's red. How's that going to become a pink peony? But when you start to build the colours up with all the different shades of pink, that's when the whole lot comes together as a pink peony. Phenomenal. A play of the eyes. Play of the eyes. So that one was the Dipford pink. So now we're going to go in with the olive. And it doesn't look as though you're covering much of the layer before, but you'll be surprised. So it looks like this layer for the leaves is pretty much the exact shape as the one before. And so you wouldn't really need to be moving this about as much as I am. I'm doing it for ease, for doing it while showing you. So there's now our fourth layer. So if I lift that one up there, oh, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Absolutely beautiful. And then last layer of layer number 5, we're now going to come in with the mulberry and finish off with that teeny tiny detail. So ink that through, work that in, just refining it so you're getting into all of the teeny tiny little bits. And then just lukewarm water or a baby wipe to clean your stencils is going to do the job. There we go. Here's that one. I won't need that one again just now. So let's put the mulberry away. And then we can go in with the final one, which is the moths. Still going to use the same blending tool. And I'm just going to push through. And the reason we've put the quick dries in is so that the layers of the stencils do exactly that. They dry quick. So there we go. That's all that I'm going to do. So let's lift that up. Ta-da! Spectacular, or what? Gorgeous. They really, really are. Absolutely gorgeous. Put that away. I mean, the detail that you've got right to that centre point. And then what you could do if you wanted to, although it's quick dry, you could go over with that stencil again and go over with your, because it matches bang on, you could go over with your pigment, your waterproof ink pad, and then give it a nice clear glisten. I'm not going to. We're going to keep it as it is. So I'm going to move that out the way and I'm going to clean all of that later on. Let's, just before we move on, let's clean my hands. Really is the level of detail that you've got. And because you can start to create your own colours with all your other ink pads as well. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I'm in absolute awe of it. Right, so then all you need to do is just get a hold of the corner or lift it up, prise it away. It will curl, nature of the beast, and just flatten it out again. And then there we go. And then if I take that off, just put it in a safe place. And then I'll bring in my sheet. Actually, before we do that, let me get a piece of card and bring in the stamp. Because these are quick dry, we can stamp with them. So I'm going to do these at the same time, but they will be used separately, if you see what I mean. Just to say hello. And then pop that down. We don't need to worry about wiggly wobbly feet or that again, like we did with our older one. And then for this one, shall we use, let's use the mulberry. So we're just going to ink up. Like so. Tap, 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 tap. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, yeah, don't set that on top like that. Padam. Look at that. Booyah! Just take that excess off. They are quick dry, so they will potentially stain your stamps. Not sure about the stencils. If they do, don't worry. As long as the stencil and the stamp is clean of residual ink, they'll come off. And then that is our new stamping platform. So that can go there. And that one I'm going to put out the way. So if I chop these ones up, so let's take, I'm going to take about, let's try 1/4 of an inch off. No, I'm going to have to come down further. There. So what is that? That is 5.5. Can I do it square or not? Might have to do it a little there and a little there. Here we go, 5.5 by 5.5. And then let's bring in our sentiment. Just to say, I might trim them a little bit more. We'll wait and see. Just to say hello. Let's move that out the way. And then we can. So 5.5, 5.5. Let's do a 7 by 7 card. So if I do 7 by 7. And will we do, try to think of the colours. Colour family, just to say will probably work. Probably this colour palette is going to work well. Yes, it definitely will. Good choice, Craig, good choice. Oh, this is bang on for this one. So, shall I do... or pink, pink and green. I think those two together, pink and green. Yep, let's go for those two. That green's a little bit too light. Yeah. So is that going to fit? No, it's maybe just a little bit too shy. Right, we're going to go for that one. Move that there, tidy that after. So let's bring these in. As I said at the start, we're keeping this really simple for this one. Just showing you how it works and how beautiful one of them is anyway. Can't even remember what I said that was. 5.5. So let's do 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. So these we are going to do 1/4 of an inch. And then the green will do 6 by 6. For that to sit into there. Like so. Yeah. Like it. So what about... if I trim right close to there, and then no, sorry, I can't see what I'm doing now. I don't want to come as close. I want to leave a little bit. So if I come down, so it'll be straight up against that edge, and then this one trim a little bit and right up to the edge. That can go there. Just to say hello. Right. So I'm going to do with these ones is I'm going to stick them onto the card first, then we can then mat and layer. So let's do just to say. So I'm going to go right to the edge. So I'll have a mat and layer top, bottom and to the right hand side. So that can go there. Yep, that'll fit into there. Work away. That's going to go right to the edge. Like so. Press that for a few moments. I'm going to use my tape for this one. So if I just go around the edge. And for the sentiment, probably put on very, very thin foam pads. I'll probably put on like a 1mm foam pad. Keep it really quite small. And then you can start to have your creative play. You can then chop this up into strips, into sections. You can do the pyramage, you can do pyramid, you can do all these different things with your nesting dies. There we go. That one we're also going to pop on with our foam pads. No, we're not. Our double-sided tape. We could go in with our glitters, we could go in with our gilded flakes. Lots. And if I made these layers just a teensy little bit thinner, or cut my floral layer down a little bit thinner, then this would all then fit onto a 6x6 card blank. But the actual stamped image I've cut to 5.5 by 5.5. The pink is 5 3/4 by 5 3/4, and then the green is 6x6. So let's take that, that, and that. That we're going to pop into the middle. You know what I'm like by now. I like my white space, my white layers. I mean, just how beautiful does that look? Sometimes the most simplistic crafty product or crafty tool can be the most incredible. So we've got hello, I'll show you that in a minute. So I'm going to give myself a thin little layer, slither more. There we go. So we can bring that into there, so we're flush up against the edge. Yeah, or do you want to go there? Yeah, there we go, that's better. Just to say, let's come down a little bit so we can see the tip of the flower, just to say hello. Imagine making them, putting them in a little cello bag, make your own little envelopes and sell them. Done. So let's bring in foam pads. I do have 1mm foam pads on little squares, but I don't want to put the little squares on all of these. So let's tie that into there. Just realised I've left my juice downstairs. If I had a lot to do, I would have gone and got it, but not much. So let's bring that down into there. There we go. And then even maybe something like dewdrops or that to finish off. I'm not going to. Or maybe a little butterfly die. I'm not going to. I'm going to leave it. Actually, Bella, I've got this tiny little butterfly die that I use quite a lot. Let's do it in the green. I don't know where this tiny one. It's not from the Timeless Butterflies set. Just came from somewhere. One. Wonder what it'll look like with 3. So 1, 2, and then 3. And then finish up, tidy up, and then head downstairs, put the kettle on, get comfy on the couch, because as I am filming this, Big Brother is away to start just shortly. And if you know me, you know my favourite reality show is Big Brother. there. Yeah, let's go for it. So I always tend, when it comes to the butterflies, I go one way, one the other, and then one back again. I'll lift the wings. Let's press down. There we go. I love, see, that's one of my favourite fonts anyway. Just crisp, clean, straight. Beautiful. And then there we go. That's from our Peony layering stencils with our brand new stamping and layering platform. And then there. How beautiful. How beautiful. Left all natural, no glitters, no flakes, no embossing, no nothing. Left it as it is. So we used the 5 colours, the 3 greens to finish off. And there we are. So if I go that way for you to see. Perfect. There we go. So I hope you enjoyed that one. There we go, just to say, there you go. I'd be inclined to then come along with some of my other colours that are pure pink, like very, very light baby pink. Would be nice. Love it. Love, love, love it. Rightio, I could keep looking at it. Thank you so much for joining me here on my Crafter's Companion YouTube channel. Until the next time, we'll see you again. Doodles.